Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters. It's good news, and we've got a whole bunch, so let's not stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne. Let's get to it. As you know, action figures always come first here on Model Behaviour, so let's talk toys. Let's talk about the teaser image of McFarlane Mortal Kombat 11 Nightwolf. I just thought that maybe McFarlane were kind of done with Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, it's not like they had finished the whole roster, but it seemed like things were kind of slowing down, getting a little bit quiet, and I think anyone wanting to collect all of them might have been getting a little bit worried. But no, now we've got Nightwolf coming out. We only have... coming out... We've only got the one picture. I amuse myself sometimes with my stupid pronunciations. One picture, focus Dave, of Nightwolf, and it looks good. A brand new sculpt, McFarlane. They know how to do this right. The whole Mortal Kombat 11 line, they look really good. They really do. And Nightwolf, he's got the cool headdress. He's got the battle axes as well. I think when they reveal more pictures, it's going to be more of the same that we've come to expect from this line, which is really good action figures. Me personally, I made my choice, drew my line in the sand with the Storm collectibles, but that doesn't mean I can't sit back and go, yep, that looks like a damn handsome action figure right there. Now going over to The Batman. SH Figuarts have shown us images and more details about their The Batman action figure. I'm going to stop saying it like that. I'm just annoying myself now. I'm so sorry for you guys. You don't even know me. That's going to be even more irritating. The Batman. I just did it again. The Batman figure looks kind of cool. It's what you would expect from SH Figuarts. I'm not a big Figuarts kind of guy, actually. I've got to be honest. I've got to admit, never actually physically held one in hand. But I've seen a lot in display cases and different stores and conventions, and I'm always like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling them. Maybe they're like a little bit too small. I mean, they are 6-inch scale, but they just seem a little bit petite. And when I see some of the joints and stuff, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Maybe when I finally play with one myself and see how it all fits together and see the smoothness of the joints and stuff, they might well win me over. I mean, it's not fair to dismiss something when you haven't fully given it a go. But then again, there are probably some things in this world that you should actually dismiss without giving a try. Just assume that it's not a good idea. Alligator wrestling, for example. I mean, maybe it looks like fun to you, but we're not Crocmaster, so maybe just leave that to the professionals. So SH Figuarts, it's going to come out around about August this year. And if you like that line, because obviously a lot of people do, that's why I'm not going to knock it, because clearly a lot of people like them. There must be a reason why they like them, because there's probably a lot good to be enjoyed there. So yeah, maybe if you're out there, if you're one of those people who's going to buy this Figuarts The Batman, then message me and say, dude, this is why they're awesome. This is why you better recognize. Not content to take all our money with their Roadblock figure, 3-0 are also doing a Firefly, and he looks very, very cool. 1/6 scale, so again, I can relax. Don't need it. That's fine. But, I mean, actually, I need the Hasbro Firefly, because I didn't know about that character until people were saying, like, oh, well, if you got a G.I. Joe collection, you got to get Firefly. I was like, who is this guy? He's not... But, oh, he does look kind of pretty. So, hopefully, I'll find that one of these days. But if you want your 1/6 scale, super deluxe, badass-looking G.I. Joes and Cobras, then this dude is going to fill that spot on your shelf beautifully. When more information becomes available, you know I'm going to let you know about it. Over on Toy Arc, they have in-hand reviews of the DC McFarlane Frost King wave, and these look like some handsome action figures. DC McFarlane have been impressing me a lot recently. I was nosing through Forbidden Planet the other day and I saw the Batman of Zenura and the Joker with the face that's been, stapled on or whatever. Looks ghastly, but also really cool. They're doing a good job. Bravo McFarlane DC. This wave has got some really good positive reviews from the folks at Toy Arc. You got the full lineup, which is Batman, then also there's Wonder Woman, you got Green Lantern, which is the Jon Stewart version. I always think of the late night host, Jon Stewart. Then, of course, we've got Black Adam, and finally, without a Build-A-Figure piece, there is Aquaman. They've got some awesome photos with like a snow effect and stuff. And then, of course, you've got the Frost King Build-A-Figure. And all of these look pretty badass. So if you are a DC fan, if you love this And is it Endless Winter? I always think of Wham. Endless winter, doom ba doom. I don't know the words. I know it's Careless Whisper, but Endless Winter, it sounds the same thing. Should have known better than to cheat a friend. Wasted chance that I've been given. Focus, Dave. They look cool. Super 7 have shown images of their Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Series 3 action figures, and they look like what you would expect. I guess I don't really know what to say about them. I'm just not a big fan of the Super 7 style, where it's not that much detail, more just like bold. They're very bold, and that's cool, but I like a bit more grimy, gritty detail going on there. You know what I'm saying? These look more like kids' toys. They look like very expensive kids' toys, but there's a market for them. People dig them, so I'm going to talk about them because we've all got our different things that we love. So first of all, we got Lord Zed, and again, he looks pretty cool. Got the is it a boa constrictor? Yeah, I think it is. He's got the snake accessory, all different hands, and he's got his little ball things that make the monsters grow. So he looks super fun. Then there's Finster, who was there right at the start. He's an OG Power Rangers guy, and he's kind of cute with his little clay models and the little monsters. That's kind of cool. Also, I forgot to say, Lord Zed comes with a throne, so double trouble. And thrones are great because you can repurpose them for anyone really if you want. Stick Thanos or Kang on there. That's good fun. Also, they've got the Blue Ranger. I know one of them is Billy, and what's nice is you've got the different heads. So you can have whichever human head you want on there to mix things up a bit. The same goes for the Black Ranger as well. Different human heads, so you can play around. And I'm sure some people might want to buy extras so that they can have the different versions. Because also you've got the chest, shoulder pad, armor type shield as well. So you can do full separate versions. And then finally, the one that mainly kind of catches my eye is the classic Megazord. Of course, this is at a scale all of its own. It doesn't really work with anything else, but you can just like put it in the background and be like, oh, it's far away. So that's fine. It even comes with teeny tiny little Power Rangers figures that go with it. So that's super fun. Like I said, not a big fan of the Super 7 style myself, but folks out there are. So if that's you, you can pick them up. Hot Toys have revealed more images and full details of their Moon Knight figure, and oh my goodness, it looks so freaking cool. Moon Knight is kind of killing the game recently. 2022 is the year of Moon Knight. Sorry, Morbius, it's not your year. It's Moon Knight. The Disney Plus show has been getting really good reviews. Episode 2 just dropped. I've been hearing some thumbs up about that. The Legends are coming out, and the Hot Toys, it just looks stunning. I know a lot of people weren't too fond of the bandage look, the mummified look for the costume, but I think it's growing on folks. I know it's growing on me. I wasn't too sure at first either, but I didn't knock it because I was like, hold fire, Dave. This might win you around. And lo and behold, it has. I think it looks really cool because it's different. It's unique. It's not a normal superhero costume. They've thought, how can we actually put our own spin on this? And they have, and I think it works. And in Hot Toys format, oh boy, does it really work. With all the different weapons as well. He's got all his different sickles as well. He's got the big ones, the small ones, and more to the point, he's got a lovely looking display base with the crescent moon there. That is going to look so money, baby. It's going to look money. I'm not going to buy it, but I can sit back and go, yes, that looks like a handsome figure. So fortunately, if you do want him, you got plenty of time to save up because he's not going to be released until the second or third quarter of next year. So basically, you got 1 year. All right, you got yourself 365 moons to save up for this badass looking figure. And when you get him on your shelf, I'm sure you'll be glad you did. Going back to good old Marvel Legends, Dan Yoon on Twitter has warned us. Basically, he has issued a warning. He's like, lads, you might want to save your money this month, okay? So that's kind of exciting. He's basically saying we are going to be dropping a whole load of reveals, so you better get ready for those pre-orders because you're going to want what we're selling. And honestly, Dan, I would counter... I tried to put my hand on the armrest and there wasn't one there. You know what, Dan? That's the last time I tried to be cool. Take 3. You know what, Dan? I'm going to give you a warning. Maybe you might want to make sure you got something worth revealing before getting all Billy Big Bollocks over here, okay? So sometimes we'll do Hasbro reveals and it's like, oh my god, this is so awesome, I can't wait to get it. And other times we'll get Hasbro reveals where we're like, are you freaking kidding? So, you've thrown down the gauntlet, Danny boy. You're telling us that this is something we're going to be excited about and we're going to want to spend our hard-earned money on. So, quite frankly, I'm dubious, Dan. I'm highly dubious that we're going to be wanting to part with our money. So, what I'll say is prove me wrong, Dano. Prove me wrong. It's going to be another repaint, isn't it? Yeah, I know it. Sticking with Marvel, but going over to movies now. This is a fun little, interesting, teeny little tidbit, alright? And this came out ages ago. I just didn't talk about it. But this is about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, okay? So, it's not really spoilery, but, there could be little spoiler kind of thing. All I'm saying is, I'm such an awesome dude. I chapterize these videos. So if you don't want to hear anything about Quantumania or Kang the Conqueror, maybe skip on to the next one. But the visual image of the Quantumania proper MCU big bad version of Kang has been kinda leaked via a Twitter post by one of the stunt team who, having finished wrapping filming, that's a sentence, posted a picture of himself wearing a Quantumania t-shirt, and on the Quantumania t-shirt there was a picture of the Ant-Man helmet, and on the Ant-Man helmet there was the reflection, and in the reflection there was the MCU Kang, looking exactly like you would expect the comic book MCU version to look. Full on purple, blue face, the green, it looks great. It looks like the actor from Loki, zhuzhed up in the proper comic book Kang style. And that just makes me want to see the movie even more. Sometimes when you get a spoiler like that, it's not even a spoiler, it's just a mouth wetter. Sounds weird, but you know what I mean. It makes you go like, I want to see more of this movie. So that's kind of cool. It's a nice little tidbit in there. You can go check it out, and I'm really looking forward to Quantumania. Talking now about my newest obsession, which is G.I. Joe Classifieds. Oh boy, I love this line so much. I don't need all of them, but the real standouts, boy, they look great. And Outback is clearly one of them. Dan Hu, fellow UK action figure reviewer, had a, not exclusive, but he was one of the first people to get his grubby little mitts on Outback. I shouldn't have said grubby little mitts. I'm sure he has very clean mitts. But he did his review. And I'm not going to say what he said. I'm saying go up to his channel, check it out, because he's a good brother and does fantastic work. And yeah, I mean, I would like to do a review of Outback, but you know what? I don't have it. I missed the boat on that. Went up for pre-order and I whiffed it. My finger was not on the pulse. But Dan Hu's was, so if you want to find out more about Outback, but I think it's a safe bet to assume that it's positive because the figure looks awesome. You can go check it out. Speaking of Dan Hu, I'm giving this guy a lot of press recently. You're welcome. He doesn't need it. He mentioned in his Ragnarok action figure review. Remember Ragnarok, the cyborg Thor figure? He was previewed ages ago. People planked down their money for the pre-order. And then just before he arrived, Hasbro announced, oh, by the way, we kind of forgot. He doesn't look like the preview picture. And what they meant by that is he's missing a hand, which is an unusual thing. It's just one of the extra hands, which was kind of a nice to have, but not a need to have, not an essential thing. But Hasbro Pulse sent out messages to everyone who pre-ordered it going, whoa, there's been a slight change. If you don't want it, we're going to refund your money. Fair enough, but just a kind of a weird, odd, quirky little thing. That was the mock-up set, like, boom, there it is. And then somewhere along the production line, someone went, I think we can lose the hand. Yeah, we can save a couple of bucks there. Go on, chuck him out without the extra hand. So, there you go. Just a weird, funny little thing. Let's go over to video game news now, and Crystal Dynamics have announced that they are working on a new Tomb Raider video game. This is big for me because I love the Tomb Raider franchise. I was a child of the 80s and 90s. I grew up with original, pixelated, pointy-boobed Lara Croft, and that was just the hallmark of the 90s, and I've followed the series ever since, through dizzying highs, terrifying lows, and creamy middles. But the recent trilogy that Crystal Dynamics did was absolutely fantastic. So if they're working on a new game with Unreal Engine 5, which is like bee's knees, that's something that could be quite awesome. And to be honest, they deserve a win, because they've been working on the Avengers game for the last however many years, and that must have been a slog because it's not been well received, and they're still doing stuff for it, but it must be so nice to think, right, we can start working on a new project that we know is going to have more good vibes behind it, basically. So I'm very excited to hear this news. Cannot wait to see more from Tomb Raider. And speaking of retro classic video games, House of the Dead got a modern remake, and it's just come out, the reviews are coming in, and they're okay, basically. I loved House of the Dead. It was a great on-rails zombie shooter. It was basically Time Cop meets Resident Evil, and I dug it. I dug it the most. All these great things that just work so well together. Apparently, the remake, they say, various reviews that I've read, I kind of like collaborate them all into one little thing that I can tell you now. It's fun, but it doesn't translate so well because, of course, you know, when you're playing it in the arcade, there's literally money on the line and you're more invested and stuff. Whereas at home, it doesn't have that sense of urgency. And there's some control frustrations where it's not the most awesome game in the world to play. But if you're a fan of the original series, then there's a lot to enjoy there from a nostalgic point of view. But if you don't have any kind of personal connection to it, then you can probably skip this one. Speaking of skip this one, Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore has also come out, or at least it's come out for reviewers. I think it's out like imminently, maybe today. I don't know. Either way, it's not good. According to most reviews that I've seen, it's been hovering around that kind of 4 out of 10 kind of mark, and it sounds like it's gone down the same route that most of the other Harry Potter movies did over time. Was it just got sort of bleaker and grayer and just kind of bland, bogged down in its own sort of self-importance and all these different plot lines and different characters and things that don't really connect all that much, and it just sounds like a bit of a slog. And again, you might be a massive Harry Potter fan, you might be a massive Fantastic Beasts fan, and if so, you might see a load of stuff in there that is absolutely awesome and you are in hog heaven watching it, and more power to you. Again, this is coming from a dude whose favourite comic book story is the Clone Saga. So I admit that there is no accounting for taste on my part. But I haven't seen any of the Fantastic Beasts. It was never really my kind of thing. And then just hearing that the series is going in the same sort of direction as the other Harry Potter movies, where they just get bleaker and more grey and just less magical in a series about magic, that's where I start to lose interest. So if you're a big fan, go and see it and tell me I'm wrong. If I'm negative about something, I love nothing more than being proven wrong. I want everything to be good. So maybe you can go see it and you can tell me, actually, Dave, you're talking a load of rubbish. Something that was very well received, though, is The Boys TV show. And now a DVD Blu-ray is coming out of seasons 1 and 2. It's going to be released on May 17th this year. So if you want to have a physical copy, because some people still buy physical copies of stuff. Hey, look, if you could download digital action figures, maybe I'd start doing that as well. I used to have a massive DVD collection, and then I sort of just got rid of it because I don't like having too much stuff. Except for all this huge amount of stuff. You know what I mean. But if you want to have The Boys on DVD, you can take them home very soon with a load of extras on there, with apparently some little short films and deleted scenes and all kinds of cool stuff. Perfect way to get primed for Series 3. I'm really looking forward to that. I love where this show has been going. It's different from the comics, but still has that same kind of feel to it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of The Boys, and you can pick up the Blu-ray soon. And finally, Morbius. Remember that movie? Yeah, people are actually going to see it. It turns out it's done pretty darn well in its first weekend, raking in $80 million at the box office. It would seem that folks were just interested in a comic book movie, especially a Spider-Man adjacent comic book movie. That's always going to carry a little bit of cachet until the comic book movie bubble bursts. And here's hoping that doesn't happen anytime soon. As long as they keep making good movies, this gravy train can keep running. There might come a day where people just aren't interested in comic book movies anymore, and that would be a sad, sad time. So, as long as for every disappointing movie we get a Spider-Man No Way Home, then hopefully the balance will keep moving in the right direction. Morbius has done okay, but I don't think it's going to actually be a success, because for its budget, apparently it's going to require about $300 million in ticket sales. And of course, after the initial weekend, the box office tends to go down and down and down. So since they made 80, it's kind of unlikely, since they're going to be competing next with Sonic 2 and a few other big movies like I was just talking about, Fantastic Beasts. Wow, that I think I got a little brainurism there. It's going to struggle to make that 300 million, which actually, honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't, not in a mean way, I don't want anyone to fail, but I just want Sony to go to Disney, Marvel, and just say, hey, look, guys, can you just make the movies for us? We'll still take our percentage, obviously, but just do it properly, please, because that's pretty much what happened with No Way Home, and Sony made a boatload of money, because they were like, yeah, just make the movie and give us our cut. Happy days. Everyone's a winner, and we get good Marvel movies, so hopefully that might be the case going forward. Who knows? But I will say that I want everyone involved in the project. I want them to have lifelong happiness and a great and successful career. Just stop making bad Marvel movies. And folks, that does it for Good News for today. What did you think about this ridiculously eclectic bunch of stories? Comment below, let me know. And until next time, keep displaying model behavior.